Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TARDIS Zone Talks on the TARDIS Zone. And Chris Chibnall is either trolling the fandom or he's a complete fucking idiot when he has said that Mandip Gill is such a great actress that she could have played the Doctor, and that's what we're going to be discussing on this panel tonight. And we have a few guests joining us, and we might have Marty popping in as well. It's only going to be an hour. Because I have another live stream to do on the channel later on, so look out for that. And tomorrow there'll be a pre-record thrown up as well. So I'm actually quite busy tonight. I've got loads of stuff to talk about. But we'll bring on our guests and we'll get straight into this feckin' nonsense from this feckin' idiot of a showrunner who has run this show into the ground. And I think he's just trolling us now at this stage. But we'll take a look at his comment. And for anybody that has the Doctor Who magazine, you would have seen this in the big mega interview, so they say that he has done. So without further ado, let's bring on our guests who are joining us tonight. So we've got the one and only Problem Being.
Hello.
Welcome. The Real Super Doctor.
Hello.
Now, the next guest hasn't been on in a while. I'm making a big deal out of this one. He's a legend of the fandom. He's all know who he is. It's the one and only Scottish Davros.
Hello, all chat and hello, all panel. How are we all doing?
We're doing absolutely fantastic. But before we do start, I want to say happy birthday, Daniel. Happy birthday, Lee. Happy birthday, RTD. And happy birthday, Jenna Coleman.
Taurus rules. Woo!
Yep.
Yay. Now that we've got that out of the way, I'm just going to put this screenshot up while we're talking during the whole stream. Because, we need to show his stupidity. So let's put it on here.
I can't wait.
So, just in case you don't know what he said, so this is a direct quote from him. He says, "We talk about how great Jodie is, but Mandip is just as good. She's the most incredible person, so funny. There's so much more she can do. She could easily play the Doctor."
Well, she can easily play the Doctor than anyone can. Yeah.
Right. So what we'll do is,
if everyone's special, no one's special.
Right. Now, as I said, we're here just for an hour. So what we'll do is we'll go through each panelist first, right? And then if anybody wants to add on to whatever any of the panelists says, you know what to do. Then when they're finished, then you can pipe in and say whatever you want to say. But I'm going to start off with our special guest tonight, which is Scottish Davros. So I'm going to get his thoughts and opinions on this ridiculous quote that he's made. Daniel, do you actually think that Mandip Gill could play the Doctor?
I mean, at this point, I think, at this point, I think, is actually trolling the fandom, because I think he's that but or about getting the boot from getting the boot from the guy that hired them years of anger. But in terms of man deep was that if I can make a comment on that as well, like this show was 100 times better than her ability. So like her ability is like casualty level. So I don't know what kind of Chibnall was smoking, because that comment is absolutely ridiculous, to be honest. He said He sounds like the activist you see on Twitter and on Facebook and everything with that comment. There's no validity to that because it's been proven that Mandip Gill isn't a good actress.
I mean, I said it off air. He's either trolling us right now, or he sincerely believes that. And here's the thing: I will say, if he sincerely believes that, well, then that just shows me that this man was never right for the job. How can you think that a piece of wood would do a better job than Jodie Whittaker? And yes, I'm calling Mandip Gill a piece of wood, a plank, because she acts like a plank. There's no emotion in any of her acting whatsoever. I think he's just trolling. Lee, what do you think, man? Trolling, or do you think he honestly believes these bleeding comments? And what do you actually think of these comments? Right,
Um,
calm yourself. I know you're ready to, but in your own time, deep breath, mate, deep breath.
If he didn't say these things, he would be acknowledging failure, which we all know it is. But he has to big everything up because, apart from him and a few mad people on Twitter, that's all they've got in ways of affirmation of any success or what's. So he has to artificially create a sense of success, and it's totally tone deaf. I mean, if anyone listens to this guy, his opinions on what constitutes talent and greatness and funny, especially funny. Look, no one's denying she might be a most incredible person. We don't know her personally. She might be absolutely lovely. I have no doubt that she probably is. But to say that she could easily play the Doctor, well, if you can easily play the Doctor, you're probably not doing it right. As we all know, Jodie seems to think it's easy. No, it shouldn't be easy to play the Doctor. That's why all the previous successful Doctors have all been highly intelligent, incredibly talented actors, very learned and educated, and have a presence, absolute uniqueness to their personality. They are unusual looking, sounding, thinking people. They stand out generally. And she sort of sinks into the background, doesn't she? She's not particularly a talented actress. I mean, before this, she was a regular on Hollyoaks. She did an episode of Casualty. So she did all the sort of usual soapy stuff, and that's where she belongs. That's her range. Her range is plank of wood.
I can't believe that.
Next door neighbor, but one. That's patient in hospital, or best friend of other girl. That kind of thing. And she's sort of brought that to Doctor Who, which is really quite an achievement to be underachieving to such a degree. I mean, Doctor Who requires a specific level of ability, and I don't see it from her. I don't see it from Jodie. I don't see it from, when you see those two on screen, and then every episode they're upstaged by vastly superior talent from guest cast, usually, not in the last instance, I would have to say. But they're easily eclipsed. They've got no presence. I don't know what she would bring to the role of the Doctor at all. And I think this is just Chibnall trying to come off as gracious and whatever. I mean, he has to be nice to his cast because he put them in that position. He's responsible. So he has
Yeah,
to.
but he
gaslight
can't
us to
actually
defend.
believe that she's Doctor Who
Well, he must have
material.
believed it because he cast her. But I mean, as I say, I seriously doubt this man's ability to judge anything. He's got absolutely no ability to write. He's talked about her sense of humor. Well, if his humor is anything like the scripts he's written, that's not a very good a bar to set. And frankly, I just don't think this man has any social ability at all. I think he's absolutely. I think when he wrote the line for Jodie Whittaker saying how socially awkward she is, I think he actually meant himself. I really do. I think that was his feminized version of him being a self-insert. I really believe that now. And the sort of dad jokes, I can imagine it's something that he would do. It would be like cringe round the table at dinner time. I just think, look, he's a very mediocre type of chap, right? He's a mediocre talent, mediocre personality from what I've seen in interviews, and I don't mean this to be mean, I really don't, but it's at this stage undeniable, and it's just the fact of the matter. And quite honestly, he's hired people that don't show him up as much.
True.
Because if he is surrounded by a bunch of talented people, he would be the weakest link, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he's hired. I just don't understand. Like he hired the most mediocre people. Oh, I do understand because I've just told you why I think he did it. But I just think that it's detrimental to the show. We're never going to hear the end of it from them. Like they'll go off humming to themselves what a success they were, because I think they have to keep reminding themselves of this lie in order to, not be depressed about what they've done. Because I think if they acknowledged the errors of their era, they wouldn't be able to go out or sleep at night. How could you? But I think it's. Look, he's going to say nice things about his cast. That's it. But, I mean, to say stupid stuff like that, no one believes that. I mean, apart from a few crazy people on Twitter, no one.
They'll be all. I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure they're loving that comment.
He probably did that to be forgiven by the shippers.
Yeah, because he's about to let them down. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. John, what do you think, pal? And don't
Well,
hold back.
I think that what he's doing is being flippant about his cast. I mean, he's trying to paint her in a better light, because he knows that for the past kind of 4 or 5 years has been an utter failure and that, and he's just basically writing anything that's going to kind of cover up for that. And by suggesting that she would be good as the Doctor is just the kind of, it's like one of these kind of remarks he like someone Chris Chibnall would do, because he comes off as a quite a kind of doer and a kind of boring, kind of geeky individual that sees the world through his own eyes and that, and it doesn't connect with the rest of the audience and all that. And what he's writing is he suspects everybody can fall to his feet and all lap it all up and think this is marvelous. This is Jodie's the bestest and all this stuff and that, and it's in reality it's a load of trash. I mean, Mandip Gill. I don't think that she's got the acting ability for a series like Doctor Who. I mean, she hasn't been properly trained up for it. She doesn't kind of have the ideas, the charismatic acting ability for even being a companion. Never mind being the Doctor. She hasn't got the screen presence at all. I mean, every time that she tries to put on a performance, you can see it's kind of forced, and it's like it's very kind of bland and dull and unconvincing, and it just goes to show you if this is what Chibnall has been casting in his series. And I mean, as what Lee says, it's just kind of trying to cover up for his inability to as a writer, as a good writer, to kind of Imagine if they'd develop these characters and make them kind of more believable and make the audience kind of think, wow, let's go for the second episode, let's go for this episode and that. But you're getting that same, it's like a kind of monotone kind of theme, and it's going right through it. It's just the sameness, the same pointless, boring acting from Jodie. She's no convincing. She's trying to get the audience to believe that she is the Doctor and that, and it just doesn't work. And then with Mandip Gill, it's just she hasn't got the sort of charisma to be the companion. I don't know if it really is her acting or is it something to do with Chibnall's writing, because the two things seem to just be to go together. It's like they are the same in a way, but to kind of really define the actress, she would be probably better in likes of Coronation Street and that, and so.
Well, do you know what she's doing now? Do you know what she's doing now?
No.
What is she doing?
Right, she's been cast in a TV series called Suspicion on Apple Plus, right? Apple TV Plus.
Yep.
And I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page because I saw in her bio that she was in this new show. So okay, let's go and see what she's up to. Then I'm looking at this thing. So it's a British thriller television series based on the Israeli series False Flag, set between London and New York. The series premiered on Apple TV Plus on the 4th of February 2022. Remember that series, guys? Remember watching it?
Nope.
It received, this is on the Wikipedia, it received generally mixed reviews from critics.
I'm not surprised.
And then I looked at the cast, and it says main cast, and you got a list of all the main cast. Right at the bottom, they got Uma Thurman. I don't know why she's last, but there you go. She's probably just got a small cameo, but she's not even in the main cast. She's in the supporting cast, so she's probably only in like an episode or two. So like that's where we're at.
Vote in me poll. I've thrown a poll up. I've asked you guys, do you think Mandip Gill would make a great doctor or a good doctor? I don't know. I think I said great or good. It doesn't matter. Two options, yes or no. There's no third option because it is either yes or no. I was going to put a third option. No, she's a plank, but I decided not to put that in there. But just whatever you want to do. I'm actually surprised at that word. I used that word back, plank, to describe her acting, Jordan Series 11. And it's stuck ever since. And even strangers that I don't know are using the word plank when they're describing her acting. The origins
that wooden, you can't escape it.
Yeah, and the origins of that word came from this child. So I am responsible for plank. And then Daniel used to go around on Twitter and use the word, oh no, not that plank. And that's how it stuck. That's how it stuck. But yeah, funny it's still. And I actually did a little, just remember the YouTube video I did, Yasmin Khan, the plank part 1. Yeah, I never finished part 2. Maybe I should fucking get it up before the era ends.
Oh, you have to. You have to.
You have to.
Sorry, John. I cut across John. I don't know if
where was I? I was about her acting abilities and all that.
Yeah, well,
she would probably be better cast in like a soap or something like that. I mean, an actress or actor is cast on their ability, their talent. You know, they're not just cast for the sake of being cast. And I believe that's what Chibnall's done. He's cast the kind of low-grade quality actors, especially for this part.
Well, to go for his low-grade shitty writing.
Yeah. And it's another thing is this the BBC trying to kill off Doctor Who just for Russell T Davies to come back and create something new? You know, it's like with this show being a complete failure with the mainstream audience and the fans and that, it does make you tend to wonder, because Russell T Davies coming back, there's no coincidence for that. I mean, has he got an idea to kind of move this show forward, really forward?
Yeah, well, he set it back a few years, hasn't he?
Yeah, or is it going to be a total reboot, as some people think?
But to be honest, though, like no matter what happens with if this centenary special, RTE has got the hardest job of all
Yeah.
time to
Yeah.
try and repair not only the show but the fan. It's going to be an uphill battle.
Mm. I agree. I absolutely agree. It's look, I think he's just trolling. If he honestly does
Yeah.
believe that, well, then I would be likely. I would seriously question why he was given this job in the first place. Because I'm sorry, right? And Lee made the point earlier when he was giving his point about how she could be a nice person. Well, before I blocked her on Twitter and before she decided to leave Twitter,
She was
she
giving
put
it
up
about
she
a
put up
pound.
a racist video about poppadoms and
Oh.
Indian people, and then she went on a rant at Debenhams because she didn't get the right pillow. So I actually, in fairness, I don't actually think she is a nice person, to be honest with you. And I think if you look at the way Jodie has conducted herself as well, I think this is very typical of this era. You've got people that haven't got a clue what they're doing, and I don't think they're nice people at all. I don't look at the way both of them mocked Doctor Who fans as well. They're not nice people. I'm sorry, Lee mightn't agree, but I don't think they're nice people. I think they're
Yeah, I
actually.
agree with you.
I think they're horrible individuals because if you see the way they carried on
Yeah.
from season 11, and then when she did the upgrade line in Series 12, she did a video where she was mocking the Not My Doctors. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
these are people. These are not nice people. I have to say that they're not nice people. They're not.
Did you see the whole Graham Norton of you, the comments she made to Martin and the way she said that she wasn't the doctor anymore was the most snarky sort of response I've ever heard from
Yeah,
Yeah.
for an actor to the show. It was just an accident. He said, it was just an accident. He said, comment, and it did make me angry when I heard it.
It'll all come out in the wash. You know, eventually, I think people will, after all the dust has settled, they'll all start pointing fingers and writing about it, and then speaking up.
yeah. Well, we'll be blamed, and
Yeah.
you know,
Intermediately we will be, but once as I say, once the dust is settled, then all the little things like the chaos in Cardiff and all that, all that backstage drama is all going to come oozing out, and we'll all be going, "Oh, we fucking said that, didn't we? We knew it."
Okay. Again, I have to address this. I've done several videos on it as well. I don't know how many times I have to say it, and I'm going to say it once again. Chris Chibnall's Timeless Children will not be retconned by RTD. And to suggest that it's easy, right, and to suggest that Restore Hartnell is the first Doctor after condemning the entire Chibnall era as bad fanfic, they are friends. He's not going to do
Well,
it.
I don't know that they're friends. I don't
They
see
are
that.
friends. They are friends.
I know on the surface it's all pally and lovey-dovey. I write lovey. I just no.
But he's
Look,
not retconning it. And
I
people need to
I don't think it's a case of him not retconning it. I still have faith. I still have faith that Chibnall's going to tie it all up, and it's not going to have happened or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, but see, to be honest, you've got to think of it as something completely different, because see, for the first time in the show's history, the Doctor Who's been moved to another production company. EBC just have the rights to distribute the show. They have very minimal
They have no creative input, Daniel. You're right. They've none at all.
Yeah.
It's Sony money. So
Yeah.
BBC can't dictate that in here. They've handed over to Chris Chibnall because they don't know RTD because they don't know what to do with it, right?
Yeah.
So and I'll bring up the sequel trilogy as the perfect example, right? People are saying, people were going out. I won't mention YouTubers' names, but we all know who I'm talking about. Going around for years telling the fans that the sequel trilogy was going to be retconned. No way was that ever going to be retconned, because whether we like it or not, those three movies have a fan base. Whether it's small or large, it doesn't make a difference, right? Disney is not going to, after spending billions on it, go and do something like that by retconning it. What they'll do is they'll give you shows like The Mandalorian to appease fans, like they have our the Book of Boba Fett and stuff like that. And now we're getting an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. It's the same with Doctor Who. Doctor Who is not going to be retconned by RTD. And again, I will make the point clear, right, that Piers Wenger himself and others have come out and said it's a new generation of Doctor Who. This is going to have nothing to do with previous Doctor Who from 1963 to now. This is a completely different animal altogether, right? This is not going to be Doctor Who the way we know it. It's going to be different. It's going to be bigger. Whether it'll be better or not, that'll be the question that'll be asked. But he's not going to touch it. Even Chibnall himself has come out in an interview and he says that he expects RTD to ignore his changes. So, this is only keeping up in the fandom because there are certain YouTubers out there that want to keep this narrative unless the Timeless Child's retconned, blah, 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 blah. Right? Now, I can understand. Look, I was devastated about the Timeless Child. You all know that. But at the end of the day, I'm not fucking stupid. I know he's not going to retcon it. He will not do that because the fans in this fandom, the J-bots, the Tasman stands, they are not going to tolerate, and they will kick up a stink, by the way. They will kick up a stink, and you've seen the influence that they have had in this fandom over the last few years. Now, that might be waning a little bit, right? But if he was to retcon that, there will be blue fucking murder. It's not happening, so get it out of our heads. I'm serious. You need to get that thought out of our heads. If anybody's going to retcon this crap, it's Chibnall himself. And in fairness, I think he should, because, I don't want to be listening to this bollocks all the time, and I'm not watching it if it's not retconned.
Well, I think it's unfair to tie RTD to all of that. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
you shouldn't have to.
Fix
it's proved extremely unpopular. It was once that Timeless Child thing happened, that's when the ratings really started to floor. And it's undeniable. And for that to be left hanging over RTD as a long shadow is not a pathway to successfully reinvigorating the show. It is a sticking point for a large number of people in the fandom and the general audience who now don't understand why the history of the Doctor has changed. It's not the Doctor anymore. It's
well, here's the thing. If the fans hate it so much, which we know they do, including us, why would you want them to fucking address it for? Why would you want it to bleed into his era if you just want a fresh start?
I know what you're saying.
Exactly.
You're exactly right. It's dignifying it by acknowledging it. It's beneath him. It's beneath all of us. That's why we've already decanonized it in our own heads. I mean, look, it would be nice to reaffirm the Doctor's origins without addressing the Timeless, as just like it never happened. That would be great. Maybe that's the way forward, and then find out maybe later on down the line why that is. But
he's ignored
as much time.
That's what.
But I'm saying down the line when he's handed it off to someone else, maybe they can address it, but without opening an old sore. But sort of saying, well, that just didn't happen. Whatever. But allow enough time to pass by first.
Yeah.
And let's not
that's
focus
why I
on
don't
the
believe he's going to do it. And I've been told he's not going to do it. He's just going to ignore it. And other YouTubers have actually reported the same thing. But because of one big YouTuber in the Star Wars fandom who's decided to do Doctor Who rumors all of a sudden, puts out a stupid video about RTD retconning it, it's stuck. He's not retconning it. Sony is not paying to make Doctor Who. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
They
I was going to say that you have to kind of watch at the end the destruction of the Master. I think it was at the end of the Timeless Children. I mean, when we saw the Master, he was completely destroyed with the Cyber Lords and all that, and now we see the Master back in that, and
the Lone Cyberman. Now, I think that's important. That's important. I think the Lone Cyberman, it's clearly before the events of him being
which means he must be doing something to address the Timeless Child storyline.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lee. So go ahead, because I cut across you there, mate. I'm just angry because I'm sick of this. Look, Sony is paying for this. I don't know where you're getting your information from. It's Sony money. It's been well documented, right? Bad Wolf Studios has took it off BBC's hands. Sony took over Bad Wolf Studios, so how is it not?
BBC owned the intellectual property, but it's licensed out to Bad Wolf and Sony, as I reckon, as a rescue mission. BBC Studios will be incorporated into that. That's the different wing to the publicly funded BBC. But the BBC Studios will be there in conjunction with Bad Wolf and Sony. Sony and Bad Wolf will make all the creative decisions, and the BBC basically shove a big fucking BBC logo on it and put it out.
Yeah,
that's all they'll do.
That's all they're doing.
That's how the BBC works in these sort of situations. You know, they license the brand to the production company out of house or in unison with their commercial wing, but they allow the creative decisions to be done by the studio, Bad Wolf, for example, in this case, who are the production company who will make all the creative decisions, and the money will come in from BBC Studios through their commercial enterprises and through merchandising, and Sony will be investing money in and expecting a return as part, whether it be part of commercial enterprises like their merchandising or syndication or whatever. So, like, BBC, in effect, have alleviated control of Doctor Who in a license agreement with Bad Wolf Sony. So
yeah, exactly. And with Sony money back in it, which loads of YouTubers have covered as well in extensive, more detail than I have. You know, it is Sony money.
BBC are distribution. Production is Bad Wolf and Sony. And BBC are licensing out, and I guess the licensing, the distribution, the syndicating of it will be through BBC and Sony. So Sony may be doing more of the international side of things to distribute.
Well, maybe for the American market,
yeah,
the American market and the worldwide market, because Sony has a bigger reach than.
Yeah, but
BBC
production
Studios. But I'm not going to comment on any more of your comments. Every time we talk about it, you always say the same thing, and I'm blue in the face. Like, if you don't want to listen to what I have to say, and I've been proven right, probably 97% all of the time anyway. If you don't want to believe someone that has a track record, then that's fine. But I'm telling you now, Timeless Child's not retconned by RTD. He's going to ignore it. If any retcon's going to happen, it's going to happen by Chris Chibnall, and you're wrong about
that could be foreshadowed by the. It looks like what's going to happen in this so-called special, the centenary special, is that it's going to be that they're going to try and kill the Doctor in terms of erasing them from history, perhaps, or something. But I mean, clearly we're going back to the events prior to the Gormless Child. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see how the Master regenerated from Missy to the current one, to Sacha Dhawan, and look at the events that led up to him somehow destroying Gallifrey. Maybe they will actually show us rather than tell us. Who knows? We dare to dream, as Rabbi would say. But I think somehow we're going to find out that the Timeless Child isn't the Doctor after all. I hope, and maybe that the Timeless Child does grow up to become the fugitive Doctor in another universe, and somehow crossed over into this universe. That's why she's a fugitive, because she shouldn't be in this universe. And in fact, the Timeless Child is not. It's not the Jodie Doctor, not the 13th Doctor, but is in fact the fugitive Doctor. And that's why the Mask found out through the Matrix. Somehow it got corrupted by something to do with the other universe. And that he saw the Doctor as the Timeless Child, but it's not the same Doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I see it. You know, I mean, hopefully, please, God, please. So, I mean, that's where it seems to be angling in my mind. I mean, maybe it's just fruitlessly hopeful, but you know, that's what I'd like to see in order to wrap this thing up, and so we can move forward. That it isn't the Jodie Doctor, it isn't the 13th Doctor who's the Timeless Child, but the fugitive Doctor.
Remember, I told all you guys that Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker wanted to leave. I was called a liar. It was recently reported on that they were going to leave.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay? I told everybody that the Jadoon were returning. I told everybody that the Master was returning when Spyfall. You've all seen that the channel got hit. Right? I've told you many other things that have come true. Right? Now, I'm not saying that my sources are 100% right all the time, because they're not, because we haven't gotten everything right, but that's just the way it works, right? But I'm telling you now, right, for what I'm hearing, and it's multiple sources, but other people are reporting on it as well. This is down to Chibs, not RTD. This Timeless Children crap. And this is the worst thing, because this is what it has done to the fandom. Like, we're literally down each other's fucking throats because of what he's done. Right? And I'll never forgive him. Someone said in the chat, I'll never forgive what he done. I'll never forgive what he done either. Right? I think the Timeless Children is the most divisive thing that he's done. But we've got to face the reality of the situation. He's the one that created it. Right? He's the one that retcons it. Why should RTD, and Lee agrees with me on this one, why should RTD be punished for the sins of his father, as the saying says? Why should he be the one to be responsible to clear up someone else's mess? And I know you are all saying he could do it in one line, and he could do it this way, and he could do it that way, but he's not going to do it, because this era has a support base. It mightn't be much now, we've seen that, right? It's probably less than 1 million people, but it still does have a support base. There's no way he's going to do it, because it would cause absolute murder.
I think as well, on top of that, you have to think, do you really want the tail end of this era touching upon the new era? It would be so much better if it's an absolute...
I don't get it, though, because everybody says they just want proper Doctor Who. Why would you want them to? That's what I mean. Why would you want them to?
Yeah, because...
fuck's sake, man. Hop on. I don't want any of this era going into his era, right? I want a fresh fucking start.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I want to fall in love with the show again. I don't want to be reminded of what Chibnall fucking did. Right? I don't want to be reminded. I'm sick of it. Right? We need a clean slate. We need that clean slate, because if we don't get a clean slate and it bleeds into the next era, it's done. It's done. It doesn't matter what he does. Even if he did a line, it's done. Nobody will tune in. They don't want any reference to the Timeless Child in his era, right? That's the whole point. I don't see why people want them to do it. Exactly. Leave it out, right? And I'm sorry I'm angry, but I'm pissed off with this rhetoric. You need to fucking stop, right? I don't want any of his era to bleed into his show. Because if it does, I'm walking away. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Right? Simple as that. I don't want it. I would rather him do a fucking complete reboot. Right? And just fucking go do his own thing, or ignore it like what I've been told, and he's going to do his own thing. That's what I want them to do. I don't want them to mention Jodie Whittaker's doctor, mention the timeless child, mention the fugitive doctor, because that's what he'd have to do. He'd have to address the whole lot. You can't just put one line in. He'd have to address the whole lot to make it make sense.
I think
Yeah.
if they had wrapped up earlier and not had all this horrible specials dragging this thing out and the more demoralizing as it goes along, I think if they'd have left after series 12 or ended it at Flux, and then maybe sort of before Flux started, we would have been totally on board with RTD retconning it in some way. But the longer it's gone on, the more frustrating it's become, the more entrenched things have become. And I think Noel's right that we, as much as we would like to see it addressed and retconned and gotten rid of, the fact that RTD would have to address it in some way and start off his entire new era with this dragging on over the top of that, I feel it's like being touched by a curse. It's like a disease. Sort of, you can't, you have to cut it off at the limb and make sure that the virus has stopped. It's gone. The disease has stopped spreading. So I think it is important that he does start off with a clean slate. But I think that really in the last episode of this shite that it really is incumbent upon Chibnall to do the right thing and to correct this odious error once and for all. It's down to him. It's not down to RTD.
Oh, Jesus. Right, anyway. I'm not even acknowledging that next comment now. Autumn is in the chat with a $4.99 super chat, and he says, keep up the great work and reporting. Can't wait to see if RTD can make Doctor Who great again. Lee, you coming back to Twitter now, Elon has taken over. He has actually put in his appeal and all. We did a stream earlier today where he explained the whole situation and how it all came about for him to be suspended. It was actually quite a good stream, very eye-opening, I have to say. And there was a bit of a heartbreaking story in there as well. So if you haven't checked it out, please do after this stream.
Good to see you too, Adam, by the way.
It's nice to see you. It is nice to see you. But look, this I'm not going to address that other comment, but all I'll just say is believe what you want to believe, okay?
Look, I know. I mean, look, to be fair, though, you can understand it. Like, people...
No, I do understand it.
Wait, let me finish my point. Let me finish my point. People like closure, especially over something that has brought pain and misery, right? They like closure. And I think it's right to want that, but I will add, and I will agree with you, Noel, that it's not down to RTD to do that. It's down to Chibnall to do it. He brought us into this. He has to write it out.
Do it, yeah. And listen, I want closure too. But if we don't get it, right? If we don't get it, it's not going to stop me from watching RTD's era because he hasn't retconned it. If he's going to ignore it, and not say anything about it, well, I'm sorry, that's good enough for me. That might be good enough for some people in the fandom. That's fine, fair enough. I get that. But don't be asking for RTD to fix this. Seriously, guys. We want them to move away from this era, not fucking acknowledge it. I mean,
the more you acknowledge it, the more you legitimize it.
Validate it. Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so fucking frustrated. Because we need to get away from it. Look what it's done to the fandom. Look what it's done to the fucking show. And it's not fair. It's not fair or not that RTD has to be the man to clean up someone else's fucking mess. That would be like me having a shit and I tell me wife to clean the toilet after me. Right? Okay? She's not going to fucking do it. All right? And RTD shouldn't have to do it. Simple as that. And Dan is not the 14th Doctor either. I've seen that stupid rumour go around as well. Right?
Who?
And Yaz is not the timeless child either, so he can get that out of our head as well. I don't know where these are all getting all this fucking bullshit from. You need to stop listening to fucking little YouTubers that are reporting on fucking Reddit and 4chan rumours that are blatantly fucking lying. right? It's like all this stuff. Oh, someone else reported that a woman's taking over Doctor Who. How do you fucking know? How do you know? No official announcement has been made, and all the rhetoric and all the interviews that he's done in the past since Jodie Whittaker has actually been cast as the Doctor. He referred to the Doctor as a bloke. No official announcement has been made. All right, these people just the other side just want the female Doctor to validate that precious fucking Whittaker anyway, and that's why they keep focusing on any photograph that they see or with a woman in it, right? Because they need a woman Doctor to validate this era. So people need to stop with all of this spreading of these bullshit fucking rumors, right? And actually taking them as fact, right? Nobody's been cast yet, all right? Nobody's been announced yet. We don't know whether it's a man or a woman. So stop saying that a woman's being fucking cast because nobody knows, right? Nobody knows. All right. And for all yous know, all of these rumors are coming out because RTD is probably testing the water, like with Hugh Grant when the leak came out about him, and then the newspapers reported on it, and then he came out and said he wasn't the Doctor. Maybe this is RTD testing the water. All right. But don't be taking it as gospel. Seriously, man, logic has gone out the window in this fandom.
Well, I think, a lot of it is because of the demoralizing campaign of this era.
I know, I do agree with you.
And people are desperate. People are desperate.
I know.
For closure and for this to end, this nonsense to stop.
I know. I agree. And I'm sorry that I am angry, but I'm angry because... Yeah,
Lee raises a good point there, but logically, unless it is addressed, it does carry over. I can understand that, but again, to acknowledge it is to validate it, and I don't think if we can erase it from our headcanon, and RTD comes in and doesn't ever mention it again, did it happen? Yeah, maybe it was a fever dream. Look, we can all fill those gaps in ourselves, but what's more important is the character of the Doctor regains his verisimilitude, becomes the Doctor again, behaves like the Doctor, is the Doctor, and maybe gradually they'll reinforce the classic era canon more so, and gradually doing it in a way that reinforces who the Doctor is without ever addressing it. The Gormless child ever again. It will just be like maybe down the line after RTD's left and the new person comes in, whatever. They'll delve back into the Doctor's past and say, "Do you remember that nonsense?" Oh,
yeah. Here, I've got my own little theory, and it's based on some of the stuff that I've heard rumored, right? So we all know, and stuff that we've already seen. So we already know Ace and Tegan are coming back to the show, right? Okay. I'm gonna say this to you now. There's gonna be more classic companions coming in, and I reckon also there's gonna be some new Who companions coming into the mix as well. And the reason why I think this is because what I said from 1963 to now, when the centenary happens, that's Doctor Who finished. That's that version, the classic and the new. That's it. That's done. When it comes back in 2023 or 2024, when the series airs, this is going to be a Doctor Who that we've never seen before, right? There's even rumors, right, whether it's true or not, that he might actually start from fresh in a separate universe himself and do Doctor 1, Doctor 2, Doctor 3, Doctor 4, all the way up again, right? Yeah. That's another rumor that's out there as well, but there is no way that he's going to address this bollocks. This is down to Chibs, and I think he's already, if you look at the stuff that's being said and you look at who was in the trailer, I think he is going to address the Timeless Child finally. I think he is going to do it, like Lee said from the very beginning. Actually, he said this at the start of fucking Flux. He said, don't be surprised in the last minute of the fucking episode we get a whole explanation fucking on the screen, right? That's how he's probably going to do it, right? Because all of these companions are coming back. And listen, there's been companions that haven't even been mentioned, right? And Katie Manning was on Twitter, and fans asked her, was she coming back? She neither confirmed or denied that she was in it, and she left a wink emoji. So I think she's in it as well, right?
Yeah.
So if she's in it, and the rumor is Catherine Tate is supposed to be in it as well, well, then they're probably doing the retcon, right, of the Timeless Child, okay? And as I said, the new generation of Doctor Who, that's the key word here, and people are letting that fly over their heads. New generation means a brand new show. This is nothing like we're going to see ever. This is going to be a different version of Doctor Who. We don't even know what the format is going to be. It won't be like the format that we've been used to either, right? So it's going to be completely different. So no, I seriously, man, I'm sticking to it. I know he's not going to wreck on it. I know he's not, and if he did, I'm telling you now, he's setting himself up, because there is going to be absolute bedlam in this fandom if he does that. Let Chibnall do it. Let him take the stick. Let him take it in the neck, right? I don't want the RTD to be the one to do this, to take it in the neck. You know what I mean? Off these fans. Sure, he's already blocked half of them because they keep annoying him about who he's casting as the Doctor. Like, you know what I mean? They won't even leave him alone now. So can you imagine if he retconned this? Could you imagine if he retconned this? He'd be sent death threats and everything, he would. Because we got sent death threats and stuff. Where Lee was told to die of cancer and everything. I was told to die in a car crash and die of COVID and stuff like this. This is all the shit they'd be sending him if he did that. So come on, folks. Think about it logically. Anyway, we got another super chat from Adam again. And Adam, thank you. I really appreciate it, actually. He goes, it's a $9.99 super chat. All RTD has to do is make the entire Chibnall plot by the Eternals. The Master and Tectoyum are Eternals. The Doctor's sex change was an internal cause, punishment, etc., etc. That fixes all. I don't know if fans would go for that, though, Adam. That's the thing. Look, even if RTD was to retcon it, right, I can guarantee the very same people that are calling for a retcon won't be happy with the way he retcons it. So there's still going to be an argument there. They still won't be happy.
I wouldn't care how it's retconned as long as it's retconned. I don't like it overshadowing everything, but I still think that that's down to Chibnall. However, having said that, if someone later down the line wants to undo it all, also good. I mean, look, whatever we think about it, I think it is untenable. I think it does. I think the BBC will find out if Chibnall doesn't retcon the retcon, how much of an effect that Timeless Child has indelibly left in the fandom and in general. We'll see. We'll see what the audience ratings are. But if they did any ounce of bloody research on this matter, they'd know that it has to go. I just hope they had enough fortitude to work this out earlier rather than too late, you know. But we'll see. But I think it's important if we ever go, because, you know, eventually the canon of the Doctor's lifeline, you know, is going to be addressed at some point in the future. How are they going to address it? That will have to be addressed at some point. So maybe leave it down the line for writers and whatnot to come up with something that fixes it, because it will have to be mentioned at some point, because they're going to delve into the Doctor's past at some point, aren't they? Especially near another centenary, like the 70th or whatever.
Yeah.
So
we've got 6 minutes to go. So I just want to get in Daniel and John, because we have kind of. I'm sorry about that, but I had to get that off my chest because I'm just sick and tired of all of this nonsense and this rhetoric. Listen, I do understand that the Timeless Child is a sticking point, and I do get it, because I hate the Timeless Child myself, but I've got to face the fucking reality of the situation, and I'm not stupid to believe that RTD is going to do it. He's not. There's no way, and if he did, he's only setting himself up, and I'd be very disappointed in him anyway myself if he did, because it shouldn't be his mess to clean up. It's Chris Chibnall, and he's an absolute fucking disgrace, because we wouldn't even be in this situation if it wasn't for him. But Daniel, what do you think? Do you think he'll retcon it, or do you think Chibnall will?
I think it's going to be down to it's going to be down to Chibnall to retcon it, because as you've said, Bad the Wolf and Artie, you have our own vision, and I don't think RTD wants to get himself bogged down and fixing the absolute shite that Chibnall was after on the show. And to be honest, it's time for a compel in new start anyway. So I'm for because I don't because I don't want to address either. No, I agree with if it's time for something different.
Yeah, I will respond to this one, and I'm not going to give out, right? But so you have said this. Where is it? Where's the comment? You have said it is down to Chibnall, so we both agree on that. But if Chibnall doesn't do it, then RTD must. Otherwise, there's no way he can save the show. There's no coming back from 2.2 million ratings without a clean break. But surely, if he's ignoring it, that is a clean break. That's the point I've been trying to get through to you. He's going to ignore it. That would be a clean break. You're ignoring it. Just like they ignored the TV movie for years. That was a clean break when he brought back the 2005 reboot, because if it wasn't a clean break, he wouldn't have cast Christopher Eccleston. He would have cast McGann. Right?
No, for the longest time, you know, and, you know, my heart agrees with you, you know, Arguel, but I apologize if I got your name wrong. But I know you don't pronounce the S at the end of the name. I used to date Greek. And I would agree with you not so long ago either. You know, I would have been totally, yeah, he has to retcon it. Someone has to retcon it, whatever. I don't care who retcons it. Get rid of it. But the more I've prolonged the agony with everyone else, the more quickly I want this era out of the way, and I want it memory hold. I don't want it looming over the start of RTD's run. I don't want it coming near it. I don't want it infested with any of the hangover from Chibnall's era. I want a clean break. And I would have preferred it if the specials, as they are so-called, had been aired in one go, you know, like one after the other, like one a month.
I agree, yeah.
And then allowed as much airtime, space between those two eras that, you know, the dust would settle and we could all sort of forget about it and sigh of relief and just, oh, thank God that's over. But as it goes on, it's like we're still waiting for this pain to see whether or not Chibnall's going to double down again or clean up his mess, which I think is a responsible thing to do. You know, you can't just fundamentally change the entire character for no bloody reason other than to piss all over everything. But again, my position softened on that, on RTD being the guy to retcon it, because let's face it, we understand Chibnall retconned better writers before him and didn't give a shit about what they thought about it. You could argue that RTD shouldn't give a shit either and just fucking go, well, I'm gonna fucking toss that out. But again, I would much rather the focus be on the new, moving things forward, not looking back so much, and Chibnall being the guy to clean his shit up. And if he doesn't, yeah, that is going to be a sticking point for me at some point. I will always be thinking about it in the back of my mind every episode I'm watching. And I shouldn't have to. I should be giving RTD a clean slate and hoping for the best and thinking about what he's doing. But, you know, in the back of my mind, it's going to be like the Doctor's not the Doctor. The Doctor's, you know, millions-year-old fucking space Jesus. I don't want that. I do not want that either. But at the same time, I have faith that eventually, if it isn't fixed by Chibnall in his last episode, that someone down the line will go back in the Doctor's past and will find out not true or whatever, but I need space and time, excuse the pun, between the Chibnall era and the RTD era, so I don't have to think about it. But it's going to be difficult having that looming over if it isn't fixed. I get that. I really do. And I'm absolutely 100% with you in how that feels. But at the same time, I don't want to be reminded of it either. You know,
exactly. And I disagree with that he would struggle to get the ratings up. RTD alone, his draw, his first episode is going to do better than The Woman Who Fell to Earth. That's just a fact.
He hasn't had any turkeys yet, as far as I'm aware. So,
exactly. So I'm not worried about ratings. Listen, I get it. Timeless Child is a sticking point for a lot of fans. But look, at the and you say that a clean break is not ignored. A clean break is ignoring it is not a clean break. It is, but you obviously see it differently. And you always need to have an answer to everything that.
But I think it's okay to agree to disagree. Like you both have different. You both have different ways of coping.
Yeah, but I'm not. I hate to pull this card out because I never do, right? But I get information, right? I know he's not doing it, so I mean, people just need to forget about him doing it, right? It's gonna be down to Chibs. I keep saying it. It's down to Chibs. If he does it, he does it. If he doesn't, well then, whatever happens, happens, right?
Well,
if
maybe your sources
give RTD a chance, then that's fine, fair enough. But then what I'll say on that hand is then I think these are all selfish because he's not punishing a man that had nothing to fucking do with the story.
Apart from the selfish thing, I mean, I can understand he shouldn't be tarnished because of this, but I might just say, if your sources are saying that he's not going to do it, maybe it's because it's already been done, and maybe Chibnall has fixed it. We'll just have to wait and see, guys. We'll know when it's out there, and then we can all talk about it, and then we can all see how we feel about it once it's been aired, and then we can move forward from there. Until then,
if he does retcon it, I will apologise, as I do, because I will admit when I'm wrong, and I do. So if I get this wrong, I will come out and I'll do a video and I will apologise for getting it wrong. Okay, but for now, we're going to leave it there because I said an hour and Daniel has to go as well, and I did promise him that I would only keep him on for an hour. That's how I was able to convince him to come on. So I'm going to stick to the hour, but I will be back in a few minutes, or maybe in about. Actually, I'm going to bring Ted out real quickly. And then when I bring him back in, then I'll be doing the other stream. So come and join me for that. But before we do leave, let's do channel shout outs. And we're going to start off with the legend, Scottish Stavros. So go ahead. What have you got, mate?
But I couldn't tell from me if Charlotte doing your usual reviews or just but as well as my I thought when a couple other deals and between those reviews as well. So look out for all the content coming up.
Fantastic. And I was talking to Daniel as well last night, and he says he has big plans for the channel as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you actually have planned. But listen, it's always a pleasure having you on, mate. So I want to thank you for coming on because you are a legend. And we all love you, man. And happy birthday, by the way, again.
Thank you, and keep supporting us channel as well.
I think that tonight most of the Doctor Who fans will fuck off now because of what I said. But I don't care. I speak me mind. And you know me. You know me, man. I don't fucking, I'm out straight and I'm honest about what I say. And look, I just don't see him doing it because it'd be bad, in my opinion, it would be the worst decision that RTD has made. Just like it'd be a bad decision if he does cast the female Doctor. I don't think if if he did cast a female doctor, to me, then he doesn't quite understand that this is not popular. And it's not just popular with fans, right? It's not just not popular with fans, the same with the general audience as well. And I will make the point that, yes, while fans may want the Timeless Child retconned, the British public won't give two flying fucks about it, well, because they're casual viewers. So they won't give a crap about the Timeless Child if RTD didn't retcon it. They would
I
just
think we
watch
should
Doctor Who if it's good.
We should save this debate for after the air date of the centenary special.
Yeah.
And then we can.
Yeah, and if I'm wrong, as I said, I'll apologise, because I have apologised before when I have been in the wrong. I'm the bigger man to admit that I've been wrong, and I will. But I know as I said, I didn't want to pull out this card, but I have a high success rate when it comes to me rumours, whether it's a few weeks or a few months. The rumours always get reported on, and it's confirmed. So, look, we'll just wait and see what happens with it. I'm not getting into another long argument or debate about it now. I'm fucking sick of the Timeless Child. I wish someone would just flush it down the fucking toilet and leave it there. Anyway,
imagine if that's what Chibnall did at or RTD did, just like a flushing of the toilet, and you just see the fob watch.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Even do that. But Lee, where can people find you?
First of all, I think Shelley said for you to check out Message.
I will. I'm going to be doing another stream. I will address it while I'm doing the other stream. Trust me. Okay, go ahead.
You can't find me anywhere. I am challenging Twitter at the moment, so we'll see how far we get. My channel is Aldred Audio Visual. I've got my VFX stuff up on there, and I am open for commissions. I'm currently doing sound design production for Black Glove Studio, and I'm also doing some other stuff for someone who's commissioned me to do some trailer work for them. So if you're looking for the same, let me know. I've got a PayPal on there, a PayPal link in my about section on my channel. If you want to bung us some money, I'm not going to tell you not to. If you want to pay me that way and get some work out of me, that's also a good way of doing it. That certainly grabs my attention anyway. So yeah, that's it.
Fantastic, and Real Super Doctor.
I've got a channel under Real Super Doctor on YouTube, and I've got a Twitter under Real Super Doctor.
Fantastic. And just to show you what the next topic of conversation is when I come back, I'm just going to give you a brief, quick preview, and then we're going to end the stream. So I'm going to leave you on a cliffhanger, unlike Chris Chibnall with his Doctor Who. I'm leaving you with a cliffhanger. So here is the cliffhanger. Is Doctor Who Centenary Special already in trouble? Is the headline from the radiotimes.com, and that's what we will be talking about next in a few minutes' time. So come and join me for that. I tell you, I haven't read the article, but it'll be very interesting to see what's being said. And why is my screen acting the maggot there? But there you go. We'll be back in about 10-15 minutes time. I just have to bring the doggy down for his evening, his last poo of the night. But just to let you know, we're actually proud of little Teddy today. So I got a little story to tell you. Leave on a happy note. So Ted did a Mr. Miyagi today. Ted actually smacked 2 blue bottles, because we left the windows open. 2 blue bottles got in. They were near the window. Ted seen them, and he smacked them with his paw, and he knocked them down, and Cheryl was able to throw them out the window. So Teddy did Mr. Miyagi with a couple of blue bottles. So we're quite proud of him there. You should have seen him. He was very, very proud of himself, apparently, when he did it. Good boy, Teddy. Yeah.
And I just realised I mispronounced Argyros' name, so sorry, apologies.
Argyros says, I've read it, I'll let you explain it. Not a bother yet. Yeah, I'll be doing that. And also, by the way, I'll be doing either I don't know whether to do I might actually have another 2 live streams tonight. I don't know whether I'm going to do it as a live stream or as a pre-record. But there is another article from a fangirl magazine who has actually called out Chris Chibnall for what he has done. So yes, look out for that as well. So I might actually do another live stream. You never know, because I mean, I was talking to Lee at 3:00 this morning. Or what time did we start talking at last night?
Midnight.
Midnight, and it went on till about 3:25. Yeah, we had a 3.5 hour conversation last night. It was great though. It was great. It was nice to talk off air, and you know, we were able to talk about stuff that you wouldn't necessarily talk about on your channel, but we were talking about other stuff as well.
It was sex chat.
But we were also we were getting very kinky with the wife. Anyway, on that note, I just want to say thank you all for coming in. And again, you know me passion. It's not me actually really giving out to you all. Well, in a way, it kind of is, but it's me passion. I'm very.
You can't take the Irish out of Noel. Totally.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. It was just a normal conversation, PD Rich. That's it. Sure, he even went out because the conversation was so long. He went out of his flat or his apartment and went to the bleeding garage while he was talking to me on the phone. So that
Came back
great,
again.
And then he goes, "Oh, I'm going into the garage." He mutes me for a while. I thought he disappeared, and then he goes back. Are you still there? Yeah, I'm still here. And then we were talking about what he bought in the shop and stuff like that and stuff. Yeah, it was fun. We had a good, fun conversation last night, I have to say. Chuck, if you're listening, because I know you've been sending messages to Cheryl. We will ring you on Friday, as we said. We'll give you a dingle on Friday and we'll catch up. We haven't talked to you in a while. So we'll see you then, pal. But to everybody else, I want to thank my panel. Thank you, guys. Legend. Well done. Thanks for coming on.
The result of your poll? You got 54.
Oh, yeah. The result of the second poll. Hold on. We'll end the result. We'll end the result now. So let's see. How many voted in the poll? Let's
54
see.
I've got.
Bear with me for a second because everything is loading very fucking slow. So very slow. But Arduros, listen, if I'm wrong, I will apologise to you. I will apologise because I will admit if I'm wrong. You know, as I said, I'm just a very passionate guy, so please don't take it personally, or you guys that I've given out to tonight, don't take it personally. I'm just very opinionated, as you know. I mean, you wouldn't be here if I wasn't that opinionated anyway. That's what you love me for, you know. So hold on, let's get this bleeding poll up.
It's a thin line between love and hate, right? The suspense is killing me. Would get Mandip Gill make a good doctor? Yes or no? Results are in. 56. 50.
Here we go.
No,
Here we go. Results are. I'm gonna end this poll now. Sorry, I actually just realised that I did actually knock the sound off YouTube. Right. So there we go. Okay. Right. Whoever the 4% of people are that voted yes,
you're trolls.
Get out. Right. But the result is overwhelming. 96% say she would not make a good doctor, and 4% or 3%, I should say. So 96%. That makes no sense. 96. That's 99. Should be 94. Or either, get away. Anyway, 93% said, 96% said
1%
no.
are spooky ephemeral beings from another dimension who cast their vote with nothing.
And 3% of this fandom, or 3% of this chat, well, I reckon it was a few J-bots that came in. 3% of you said that she would make a good doctor, which actually means you have no taste whatsoever. So, like, that 3%, you know what you should do? You know what you should do? You should
learn what acting means.
I
just don't understand. How can you think? Not everyone can play the Doctor. That we now know, right? What?
What universe
Yasmin
is that?
Khan, Mandip Gill screams the Doctor at you. Not an atom in her body screams Doctor material to me. Nothing at all.
Oh, RG Ross makes a good point there, though. Maybe they thought she would be better than Whittaker.
Well,
yeah,
almost
okay.
everything else is apart from Mandip Gill. That's
Listen,
the funniest.
In a way, I actually agree with you to a certain extent. I'm not going to lie. Right, there we go. I actually agree with you on something. But come on, she's not even Doctor Who material either. Just like Joe Martin, the fugitive Doctor, isn't Doctor Who material. All of these fans that are ranting and raving about Joe Martin, it baffles me. Right, it baffles me. You're only thinking she's great because she was up against Jodie Whittaker's Doctor. Right, you put her up against Peter Capaldi, or you put her up against David Tennant or Matt Smith, or even Christopher Eccleston, Tom Baker, right? All the other doctors. You're telling me that Joe Martin's Doctor.
How is Joe Martin's Doctor anything like the Doctor? What, just because she's a bit grumpy? But she's pointing guns at people and
yeah, I know that
and acted like a complete psychopath. I'm sorry,
exactly. That's not Doctor Who material. Exactly. She hasn't got the traits of the Doctor either. I think fans are just, because Jodie Whittaker is so disappointing, anybody that's slightly better than her is elevated. And that's where I am on Joe Martin. No disrespect to her. The few minutes that she was on screen, I have to say, she was more convincing than Whittaker. But I'm looking at this with a cold, hard eye. And if I compare her to the rest of the doctors that I've mentioned, she's not Doctor Who material. She doesn't even reach the standard.
And consider this. If you compromise on the casting of the Doctor in any way, you compromise the entire character. You can't afford to miscast the Doctor and then say that's the Doctor and it doesn't act or is written anything like the Doctor. That's not how you serve the character.
Yeah,
you're serving the politics and not the integrity of the character.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Sorry, do you want to finish up? Because I was just going to ask, have we done all channel shout-outs now, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so does anybody else have last word to say before we wrap it up now?
I want to say something about this timeless child thing. I think it will be retconned by Chibnall, and I think with the Master's return, I think it's going to hint it's the Master's involvement and could be the Valeyard coming back as well for.
See, that's where I actually agree with you. See, this is where I think that's why Sasha is coming back. That's why the lone Cyberman is coming back. And that's why these classic companions are being roped in as well. I think he is going to address it. Now, whether he doubles down on Lee Halford thinks that he might double down on it, we'll see.
I still think that the Joe Martin's fugitive Doctor is from Universe 2.
Yeah.
The reason she's a fugitive is because she's like escaped
in
from
Universe 1.
And that's why she doesn't recognize Jodie and Jodie doesn't recognize her. And that's why the Timeless Child is actually her Doctor, not our Doctor.
Do you know what? I might have to go back and watch the Fugitive fucking Doctor again. And the time. No, just the Fugitive Doctor and the Timeless Child episode. Because as we know, Chris Chibnall doesn't lay any groundwork. So you don't even need to really watch those 2 episodes to actually get the story, because he doesn't, you know what I mean? Because he doesn't.
YouTube.
So that's what I might do. I might actually watch those 2 episodes and just fucking check it out again. But I will say the one scene that I did like in the Fugitive Doctor episode was when Jodie was digging at the dirt and we see the TARDIS, and then she looks up and she sees Joe Martin. That was an epic scene, because Whittaker's face in that moment was just epic. It was just like, oh, ha 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 ha! You thought you were the only female Doctor. Ha ha! They made such a big deal, and now we've belittled your Doctor. Ha 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 ha! Right, I'm going to leave it there before I lose the plot completely. Right, I'm off. Say good night, panel.
Good night, panel.
Good night, panel.
Good night, panel.
Good night,
Daniel, legend, you don't be copying off him. Right? I'm your mentor.
He knows what's up.
Right, I'm his mentor, you. Right? You shouldn't be copying.
No, you're his mental.
Oh, I love it. I love the banter on this channel. Listen, to everybody else in the chat, thank you for joining us. I really do appreciate it. And as I said, man, if I do end up being wrong, I will come out and I'll do a video and I will apologise to you all because that's the type of bloke I am, and I'll take the L and I'll take it on the chin. All right. So we'll leave it there. I will be back in a few minutes, as I said. I'll get that link set up straight away, and we'll be back. And I'll have to keep it down because Cheryl will be in bed at that stage, so I'll have to keep my voice down, which is going to be very hard because I'm actually rolled up right now at the moment. But there you go. All right, I'm gonna go before I lose the plot.
Last time we wanted to have a shit, now it's just like,
Well, yeah. And then I ended up being constipated, so fuck you.
verbally, not so much. Just
I tell you, mate, I swear, after you left me, I said, oh, lovely, I could find it. I'm bursting at the seams here. Went in, had a pee, and I just...
TMI.
Bye, folks. Have a good one.
Goodbye.
Here's the
Goodbye.
channel trailer.